In a world where two retired vets decided their phone conversations about WWE and storylines would make a good podcast, only one podcast dares to predict the future, where every move, every feud, every moment is overanalyzed. Grab your number 2 pencils. Get ready to step into the squared circle. This is your front row seat to the storylines as you wish they were written. Welcome to the If We Had the Pencil podcast. Here are your hosts, Sean Green and Matt Jackson.
Welcome to another If We Had the Pencil podcast. I, as always, am your host, Sean Green, and with me, as always, is Matt Jackson. Matt, how you doing?
Doing good. So, back to school. We'll just leave it at that. No, yeah. Congrats on your Masters, if I haven't said before on the podcast.
But now, I, as some of you probably are observing, I have been slowly reworking my whole recording, and I am now in the bar. Don't get too excited. A lot of this green wall will be filled with Bills crap here shortly, so go Bills. It's football season around the corner. So, but it was a fun weekend of wrestling, man. It was interesting. I mean, you know, this episode's called The Dog Days of WWE right now because that's what it felt like this week from Friday until Monday. But, ooh, Triple Mania was something else, man. What a blast I had. And honestly, if you haven't seen Omos tossing a freaking midget around, you really need to check that out. That crap is hilarious.
Yeah. And all the internet memes have been great. Like, you sent me one. Me holding a bag of ice.
Bag of ice.
So, yeah, I enjoyed that show. Oh, there's a match or two that didn't come off as good, but what was there was just so awesome. I even liked the opening match. And I'm not really butthurt about Omos winning. He actually did more than I've ever seen him do in a ring. And then also from what I heard, like, he's a really good dude, so a lot of the roster's happy for him. But
a lot of what I heard is that he's been doing great in Japan. And they mentioned it on the broadcast. Props to Corey Graves, too, man. That's twice now he's done these AAA events and has looked phenomenal. Or sounded phenomenal, I really should say. Conan's Conan and JBL didn't really give us much, but it was good. And, like, you know, it's important to remember, like, when you're watching stuff like AAA, to be like, it's different. It's not what we expect. It's different. So, like, the entertainment actually takes place in the ring. I don't think it's something I could follow on a weekly basis, but if I watched all their big events, so we got Worlds Collide coming up in September now, which will be exciting. By the way, early spoiler, I think Dom's going to take that title off of Vikingo. That dude's just getting booted. Man, the comparisons are true. I was looking online, like, that dude is Big Dog Roman Reigns back in the day.
Or when
that's exactly how he's,
Remember that time? Remember when they were shoving Cena down our throats and the fans revolted? Same thing.
When he got injured and they were just like, yay, he's going away.
Well, he had like the title the first time, 2.5 years, and then he got hurt and he had to relinquish it, and then he won it back. So he's never been pinned or anything, lose the title. So I just think the fans are tired of it. I think they want to see other people do it. But man, the match with the Judgment Day and Iguana, and was that with Dragon Lee and
Demonico?
Demonico, yes. Yeah.
Demonico, which apparently is on WWE Shop for like $100. Like, it was a cool concept, but I ain't paying $100 for it.
No, but that was a cool match. I like how they didn't try to WWE the match. They let it kind of like the Judgment Day folks. They worked to accommodate the styles, and I'm on the same point.
Well, they
too.
all went the other way, and that's what I was going to bring that up, and since you touched on it, they went the other way, right? Like, anybody from WWE's main roster that was participating in that really embraced the vibe and the feel of the lucha style that's presented in AAA, and the characterizations, the storytelling, the in-ring storytelling, the slightly goofiness, and we got a lot of that. Like, credit to Omos. Omos did his part. Otis is crazy over in AAA. Holy shit. I didn't know that was, like, I love me some Otis, but, like, whew, he was crazy over out there. Like, I was like, okay, I
Yeah,
see you. And
and we
him,
saw.
him and Microman, like, working together for a little bit, Microman getting the pin on him. I was like, that was so good. Like, I loved it all. I had a lot of fun. We got to see Natty, which we'll talk about this a little later, because I've seen a lot of griping about Natalia showing up. I did it. I admit it. It was me. So, Natalia showing up. So we'll get into it when we talk Raw and her match with Becky. But let's just get into SmackDown, dude. So SmackDown kicks off. Got
Quick though, before we do SmackDown,
yeah,
the team of Psycho Clown and what's his
that
name?
was good.
Pagano. Pagano.
Yeah, Pagano.
Love that. That was a great match, man. All four like gave an awesome match there. The main event, which I know you haven't been able to see in its entirety because you
Some bits
crashed.
and pieces.
So that is a great example on how you can do a world title main event in like 16 minutes and just have it be epic. And was a little overkill, people thought, with the run-ins, but that's a Lucha Libre thing too. They always have run-ins and stuff. But everything made sense, and then AJ coming out under the mask, and then, for once he outsmarted Dominic, so that was kind of cool. He actually went down into Lucha Libre land and outsmarted supposedly the greatest luchador in the world today. That was
El Grande Americano might have something to say about that, but whatever.
Yeah. Speaking of that, real quick too, I know you don't really care for the El Grande Americano gimmick, but I think with Ludwig Kaiser doing it right now, and I love Chad Gable, but Ludwig has done more for that character than I think Chad Gable did. Like,
Yeah,
that character, especially when he comes out with the band and he's singing in Spanish, and like he can talk to Dom a little bit in Spanish, and he's trying to cover up his European, and the fans went bonkers over him down there too.
It's so weird to see what that audience attaches itself to.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it was really eye-opening that, like, they lose their shit over Otis. They lost their shit over El Grande Americano. Like, they lost, little bits and pieces there. Like,
they hate El Vecchino, like, with a passion, like, who's supposed to be the face of the company.
So, I guess the storyline behind him, though, is that, like, I guess Alberto Del Rio is the prodigal son down there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Obviously, I don't follow it. I watch it on occasion, but I guess he's the prodigal son, and he kind of treated Vikingo kind of like a jobber, and I don't know. It's one of those things where you'd have to be in the know and kind of follow it to get it.
We're definitely not.
Get it.
Yeah, I didn't take notes for the show, so everything I'm talking about we use off the top of my head.
Same.
What I like too about this show, and I really wish that WWE would do this for their PLEs, is we had like 6 matches in just at 3 hours, and you had some backstage interviews, but you didn't have like the huge gaps in between.
No, yeah, it rolled.
Use your Raw and your SmackDowns for all those like longer segments and cut them out of the PLEs. So if we could get an extra match and a PLE and get 6 matches, but I just like it. Like, you weren't waiting so long in between matches. It was like, it was the match, then they had a little commercial, then they came back for backstage interviews, and then boom, like maybe a short video package if something was built up, and then they would go right to the match. And I thought that like the whole, and they did 6 matches in 3 hours plus Conan going on for about 10 minutes on the mic. So on his Hall of Fame
Apparently,
induction,
some of the translation from that little shindig was interesting.
Yeah, because I guess a heckler was heckling him, and he turned around him and told him basically to do inappropriate things with his mother. So
Yep.
Yeah.
Props to him.
Yep.
Good for Conan.
That's a guy that can switch the heel stick on like real quick. Like, he's just a natural heel. But yeah, that was awesome too, because Conan put Ray in the WWE Hall of Fame. He inducted him, and Ray inducted Conan into the AAA, which hopefully down the line we see Conan. He should be in the WWE Hall of Fame.
I think
it's coming.
Contributions are huge.
Yeah.
And I
Especially now
think
with
that
this
it's
Triple A
worthy.
merger, I think now you see him in the spotlight more. Maybe you do it as early as next year. You got Cena as a headliner and Conan under. That would be fine because Conan's not a headline Hall of Fame show guy, but that'd be a good mix to have Conan and Cena because they're both big around, within 10 years of each other and totally different styles. So yeah, but that's about all I got on Triple Mania. But I'm telling you, you gotta watch that main
All
event.
right,
It's
next to the
amazing.
show is going to be a slog. Maybe we should have taken notes on Triple Mania. Yeah, nah, it was just kind of a blasé week for WWE, and I don't know if it's a couple of things. I don't know if it's the hectic travel schedule supporting Triple Mania for some of the wrestlers. I don't know if they're just kind of phoning it in a little bit because they know they're going on their European tour and those crowds are going to be nuts. I don't know if it's because Triple H was out and he was somewhere over there in Europe doing swimming and stuff like that and, getting body shamed by people that'll yell at you for body shaming you. I don't get it. But anywho.
God forbid you're 55 years old,
And had a bypass and all this other shit.
Yeah.
Like, it's just goofy to me, right? Like, oh my God, you can't talk about their body like that. And then they're all like digging into Triple H. Just like, dude, he can't work out like he used to, so.
Yeah,
whatever.
probably half of the people body shame sitting on their couch and they weigh 400 pounds, munching on an entire party-sized bag of Doritos. So
Yeah, and I guess Shawn Michaels also has to have like double knee replacement surgery or something. And it's funny that it came out this week because when I saw him on AAA, I was like,
yeah,
his legs look rough. Like it was he's very bow-legged right now. So yeah, it was and none of this has anything
cross-eyed.
to do with SmackDown.
He's cross-eyed and bow-legged. Poor Shawn Michaels. Getting old sucks.
Harper Kid got broken.
They're gonna change the super kick or whatever it is, the sweet chin music into the wishbone music or something, because that's what it. Anyway.
Good a horse, ride your cowboy, all that good shit. Anyways, so we get this opening segment in SmackDown. MFT comes out. Solo's taking victory laps. Sami Zayn comes out. And Sami Zayn, the biggest takeaway from this is Sami Zayn is now officially on SmackDown. And yeah. Could have been on SmackDown a couple of months ago, Matt.
Mm-hmm. And could have been going for the World Heavyweight title, or the WWE title.
Yep.
Undisputed, whatever they call it, the cinema title. So, yeah.
Interesting.
And he wouldn't have gotten beaten up by the Vision for a month or so. Would have saved himself some pain and suffering.
He took his ball and went home. Boo-hoo.
But, hey, and this isn't like, we were talking pre-show, this isn't to minimize the U.S. title, but, Sammy's just been preaching for months about going for the world title, and now he's totally, dropped that dream. To me, that makes Sammy look weak, he realized, yeah, I'm good, but I'm not good enough to be a world champion, so I'll just never talk about it again and focus on this.
Moving on. Forget I ever said anything.
Yeah.
We're just going to go now. Forget it.
Yeah, to quote
We're just going forward.
To quote R-Truth, my bad.
My bad. Moving on. We're not paying attention to that.
Yeah, I don't know if that's whoever booked that. I'd like to know who came up with that, because it's just that's horrible booking.
I think he had to go over there, and I think part of that is to offset LA Knight getting over onto the other brand. So I think there's a little bit of offset there, and I think, Matt, we haven't had a draft in a while. I need a draft party.
Yeah.
If they do a draft, you and I are going to do a live stream, and all we're going to treat it like ESPN, because WWE is going to ESPN, or whatever. But, we'll just live stream, we'll comment on it, shocker, SmackDown took Cody Rhodes with the first pick. Who knew? It's like all the champions go into the first few rounds. It's who would have thought? So whatever. I need a draft. It's time.
Yeah, shake things up.
All right. So after that, we get a backstage. We get a backstage segment with the Secret Hervis and Chelsea Green, and probably the best part about this is Byron Saxton's in the back trying to do an interview, and Piper Niven is literally patting him down. She pulls something out of his pocket, nah, not dangerous, puts it back in. I loved everything about that because I was like, that's what the Secret Service needs to be. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I want them to come down and, like, if somebody comes out to challenge Chelsea for a promo, I want the Secret Service to be like, whoa, whoa, don't step in the ring yet. Hold on. And they start patting them down. Oh, it'd be great. Like, just lean into it, man. Because, like, Chelsea's leaning into it. She's doing great stuff. So, like, I loved it. But, yeah, it stuck out to me so big. Like, Piper Niven's literally taking stuff out of Byron Saxon's. And he's taking it like a champ, man. He's like, so what do you think about blah, 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 blah? And she's just like, no, no, you know.
By the time he's done, his handkerchief is gone. His tie is like sideways.
Yep.
But Byron Saxon has done a really good job in that backstage interview role. Like everybody, all the backstage announcers,
I was just about to say, it's all.
Yeah, it's the new format of how they do it now. They're taking it more seriously. It comes across better. But
it translates too.
Yeah.
Like, it adds to the storylines. It kind of feeds it. It's without Michael Cole being out there reminding you of everything that happens. They kind of use those backstage segments to kind of sprinkle a little bit of memory dust on you, the memberries, if you will, if you watch South Park. But but yeah, it was good. It leads to a match with Alexa and Piper, which we all knew how that match was gonna go, but after the match, we get a beatdown, and Sean was cheering, and Piper got to show some stuff too.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and the Boston fans were definitely into it. They even popped Lily. Lily got a pop. Yeah. Wade Barrett looked like an idiot saluting Chelsea Green, but. Then on the counter note, the fact that Michael Cole finally saluted her just to get her out of his face so he could go back to work was pretty funny that he acknowledged it.
Look, I'm going to play devil's advocate on this one. If you're going to yeet, you can also salute Chelsea Green. We all should salute Chelsea Green for her hard work.
Maybe it's just the way Wade does it. I don't know. But Wade's been annoying me lately, so I guess everything he does is just going to piss me off.
He's been in rare form lately, but...
At least he's not going down the creepy tingling loins path anymore.
We haven't seen Stephanie Vakir wrestle in a couple of weeks, so it's coming, But all right, so after that, we get Fraxium and Hayes and The Miz. All right, look, you want to talk about predictable, lazy writing? This went exactly how you could have predicted it, and it went look. It did what it did. It was a fun match. The match itself was fun. Like, there was a lot of good stuff in that match. I really love Fraxium because, like, it's like somebody, like, right before they come out into the ring, it's like, all right, buddies, time to shotgun, like, 5 Red Bulls and go. And, you get, both of those guys, like, flying all over the place. Yeah.
I tell you what was cool, too, is, one, because Cole acknowledged the history that The Miz had with Dexter Lumis back in the day, so that was cool. But having Gacy on the top of one stairwell be lit up, and then Dexter Lumis on another one, like, maybe they're just scouting because it's another tag team. They're in observation mode because they were there and then they were gone. Like, hey, we're here, we're watching you, and they're gone. I thought that was a cool touch to it. And then, of course, Miz freaking out.
This is what the Wyatts need to be. Like, just creepy in the background, just... kind of letting you know they're there and creeping you the hell out. That's what the Wyatts need to be, and we'll talk about it a little later because there's a little bit more head for them.
Yep, but getting in his head, and it did. It got into Miz's head. He ended up tagging out rather quickly. So I tell you, Frazier, that dude can hit the ropes. Like, he was like on Braun Breaker level with the speed coming off the ropes. Like, the match itself was a lot of fun. A lot of really good stuff. The finish made sense. Like, we knew it was going to happen.
Yeah, and it just furthers that rift. We know it's all going to be Hayes and Miz, probably coming sooner rather than later. So it is what it is. It just, a blind squirrel could have written that story. So
well, good. It's progressing my thought that Carmelo Hayes might be the 4th member of the Visions.
I think it would be a smart move. But I don't disagree with you. I think it's a smart move. So
I just want to see the next few weeks how this progresses. And if we're talking about a draft, Perfect opportunity to draft Carmelo over to Raw, and he goes over to the Vision.
Well, I think it's also a good way to get Vision moving around a little bit, right? So, the whole LA Knight got injected into it. But, man, wouldn't it be great to hear Carmelo Hayes' music hit after he finally takes care of The Miz, and then all of a sudden he comes out with Paul Heyman? Like, that would be amazing.
Well, you got to start setting stuff up because Survivor Series is only a couple months away. And I don't know who they got planned for the War Games, but I would guess the Vision would have something to do with it. But if they do...
So you got to set it up. Some people don't even have to talk. We'll get into that too. Like, you know exactly who I'm talking about because I was going nuts about it yesterday. So after that, we get a quick backstage segment. The biggest takeaway is I love that Kiana James is running around in the back being a manager and trying to recruit more people into her stable. I said it long ago in a galaxy far, far away. I think WWE needs to start honing a crop of new managers. I think Maxine Dupree is a definite possibility in the future. Kiana James is already doing it. I think they got to find a male one or two that can do it. I think making managers.
Paul.
Well, Paul's in his own category.
Yeah.
There's a reason why he's got a Hall of Fame ring. But
no, I know.
I think that, like, take Paul off the table. I'm saying you got to make the next iteration, right? And, like, Paul can't be the only one. Paul's not going to do it forever. He is doing it forever because he loves it. But, like, you need to groom some of those because you know where it helps? Your international talents.
Yes.
And your people that are weaker on the mic. So if you got somebody that's strong on the mic and they could be a manager for somebody, they did it for Omos, right? Like, he wasn't great on the mic, so they gave him MVP. That ship sailed, but still. Bobby Lashley was kind of the same thing, too. He wasn't great on the mic. He cut okay promos, but nothing great. So, and that was just association because I guess they're working together in AEW now. But, it is what it is. But James's manager is great. But then
what's going on with Minchin, you think, though? Minchin keeps showing up. Like, is she going to make a decision? And I do like her walking around with the kendo stick. It gives her a better look. I think that'd be a good pairing to have her be with Kiana James and Julia, because
I think
that could be a good.
She's around trying to get a title shot off of Julia, and I think that there is some use for her. She's kind of playing that, like, hardcore, that hardcore element.
Yep.
That, we've seen it in the past, males and females, where they were just, that was their shtick. There was a hardcore title for crying out loud for a while. So, but, yeah. But I want to get into who's falling into GOAT territory of heels, and that is Drew McIntyre, man.
Yes, sir.
That dude can cut an effing promo like nobody's business and really make you care. And I love Drew so much right now.
Yeah, there was so much. Well, we were talking before we went live, and some of the things I noticed, like, Drew is almost doing like a quasi work shoot. Borderline. It's still story, but it's almost he's incorporating some work stuff. He calls out upper management. He even referred to Cody as being like kind of a corporate-y guy, a company guy. So like the corporate Cody. So, which he's the face of the company. He's a suit and tie. So he's kind of the company corporate type guy. So he's calling all out on that. And what I really like too is, like, I like the fact when he brings up when he won the world title, how, like, he got screwed every time. The first time he won it, there was 0 fans because of COVID. Then CM Punk screwed him out with the Money in the Bank briefcase, and there was another time, right? Because he's a 3-time champion.
Yeah,
I think he won it and, like, lost it within a week.
He also almost had Roman beat, and that was a whole thing. Like, he's been on the cusp or the precipice, and it's just like,
when he has his big moment, it's taken away from him either by someone cashing the briefcase or just the circumstance that was COVID. Like, so yeah, he's spitting truth, and they need to keep doing this quasi work shoot stuff because it's easy to buy into. Because, like, he's not lying. He's just kind of sick and tired of being screwed, but he's a heel. But if you like heels, like I like heels, so it works for me because it's like
I'm slowly moving over that way, but like I'm intrigued on storylines too, and it kind of reeled its ugly head during the main event of Raw, where like everything went down, and I was kind of bummed because I'm like, I like Vision, I want Vision to go over, like,
yeah, yeah.
I'm getting looked at like, what? You like Jay? You like? I was like, yeah, I know,
No,
but
my wife is getting onto it now because like I was really happy when Jey Uso won the world title, and my wife was so confused. But like, you're a Gunther guy. I'm like, yeah, but I'm like, for the story to continue, like Jay needed the title, so it makes sense. And then like, as much as I like Jay, I was like, when Gunther went to take the title, I said, I hope Gunther whoops his ass and lays a beating on him. And then I got the same thing, like, but you like Jay? Oh, okay. The
yeah.
story. So
It's
she's
the
getting,
story. It's
yeah.
all about the story because like that's all I want. I want the story and I want a good one. And yeah. So all right. So we got another backstage segment. Street Profits. MFT shows up and Street Profits are great. That's fine. But man, Matt, what was going on behind the MFT?
Talalo, what's his name? Talaloka, whatever.
I'm gonna butcher it, so I'm not
The
even gonna
giant
try.
MFT too. I got it right during the pre-show. Talalonga, whatever. Talatanga. That's it. Sure. Anyway, he kept looking over his shoulder,
The big
which
dude.
yeah, which already piqued my interest because I knew we were going to see something, and something that Sean's been wanting to see, a little bit of Wyatt Six involvement with the MFT, and sure enough, in the distance is Eric Rowan with the bunny mask and the big sledge, just standing
I
there.
I think there's so much potential there. Especially, like, in fairness, I do want to give Solo Sikoa a little bit of props because, like, he's kind of found his character. And when he gives that goofy looking, smug, like, look that he does, and, like, all I can picture is him kind of taking that character and then being chased around by the Wyatts and being haunted by the Wyatts, right? Again, I don't want supernatural Wyatts. I want kind of the original Wyatt family where they just kind of creeped you out and they were in the background and everything was great. That's what I'm after. I want Wyatts. And I want the Wyatts to haunt because I think MFT will benefit from it and I think the Wyatts will too. You got a US title holder in there. Okay. They're gunning for the things. Fine. And then, but I have a lot of Wyatt takes this week because I think they're on the right course. I think people just need to be patient. And I think this could be a lot of fun. And I think the Wyatts are going to get a lot of exposure overseas because people are going to gobble that up.
Oh,
So
which means we ought to get some really good shows once we go overseas because they're gonna.
that's why I said earlier when we were kind of talking about this slog that was this week of WWE that like I really almost feel like they're holding back and they're just going to go pop crazy. Like I think they start Friday and like Cena is going to be there and they're just going to rock it out. So oh yeah, early start time on Raw. I got my sniffles already planned so I can get home in time to watch it.
I'll just wait for my wife to get home. We'll watch the replay that night.
Watch it live.
Ah, then you can skip through the commercials. You watch a lot quicker that way, and you can go night night earlier.
All right, so yeah, real good stuff. So then we get DIY and the Street Profits. The counters in this match were so effing good. Like everybody had a counter for everything. It was so like you're doing that, I'm going to do this. You're going to doing that, I'm going to do this. And it was all throughout the match and I thought it was great. Like it stood out and it was a really fun match to watch.
No, no, I did. I liked it. I didn't take a lot of notes because I was just kind of enjoying the match itself, and a lot of
You
good.
can always tell in my notes like when I'm into a match, it'll just be like 3-word like little quick notes and it'll be like fun match. Like that was it. Like SmackDown this week was not like epic, like amazing, but it was just fun. It was kind of like Triple A was. It was just a fun night of wrestling, and SmackDown was fun. I just had fun during SmackDown this week.
Yeah, no, it was a good show. Overall, it was a good show. I was pretty happy with the SmackDown show. We're not even done with it yet, but I liked it. And maybe because I was sentimental because they were in Boston, and I get excited about Boston crowds because they tend to be.
So you can have some
Pretty right.
chowder.
Some chowder, yeah. You can get them at
Cook
the
it up in the car hole.
Yeah, it's in the car parked by the harbor.
See? Doesn't take much to get yours back out.
Not at all. Not at all.
Nah, it was a fun match. Then we go backstage again. We get R-Truth, and Aleister Black confronts R-Truth. Then we get Ron Killings. It was interesting. It was great, actually, because R-Truth's playing split personalities. So you get the best of both worlds, right? You get kind of the ass beater in Ron Killings, but you also get R-Truth, who's like, you know, everybody's favorite guy. So, like, you know, one of the poster childs for this podcast, like, our Mount Rushmore is probably the most bizarro Mount Rushmore ever. It's like, look, there's Chelsea Green. Oh, look, there's R-Truth. Like, there's just some people that make the, like, wall of fame in our little podcast world that you're like, really? You know, yeah, really. Like, Paul Heyman's on that, too. Yeah.
Yes, so, of course.
We got 3 right now.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Drew might be peeking around the corner to join that Mount Rushmore.
He needs something epic, but yeah, he's close. Like, I appreciate his work so much. Like, ever since Punk got hurt, when Punk originally got hurt, way back when, and like Drew's like, I prayed for this. Ever since that moment, ever since the I prayed for this, and he started sending like the dudes at the cemetery with the, you know, this crap, and I was like, he's been next level, man. He's been awesome.
He was on somebody's talk show, and they asked him what he thought about how they did with Seth Rollins cashing in and hiding the injury from the roster and all that stuff. And like Drew's like, I think it was incredible, like brilliant. Like he like Drew just overflowered it, just playing his heel persona. So no, he's really, and I'm hoping that they're not breaking him and Logan Paul away because we talked about it last week how we like them together.
No, I think they complement each other really good, and I think they can wreak some havoc. And I think that Paul will benefit more working with him, and I think that they're going to get a lot of mileage. So it's very exciting to see those two together.
We didn't see them together this week, but Logan Paul wasn't there, so hopefully we'll see more of them together. And what I like, too, about the Aleister Black R-Truth, when Black first came in, I don't know if he called him R-Truth, but he acknowledged him as R-Truth. And by the end of the interview, when Ron Killings bowed up to Aleister Black, he even commented like, oh, well, here you are, Mr. Killings, or something like that. I thought that, it's just, we talk about things that, like, it's all in the, like, the little details. Like,
yeah, when you
mentioned that Cody is a company guy, or corporate Cody, which he didn't say, but he alluded to. I've been telling we've talked about it. Cody's going to turn heel down the line. This is all like the little breadcrumbs that they're just going to drop every now and again, just enough to keep you on the path until we see more. So they did that with Aleister Black. Like they're keeping true to the fact that okay, we thought when R-Truth came back that it was just going to be Ron the Truth Killings, and then they backed off that. I like how they found a happy medium and still having the R-Truth. And then R-Truth becomes R Killings. So the dualism of Ron Killings continues.
It's cool. You can sell twice as much merch.
Yes.
Because after you spend $100 on Demonito, I just like saying it. I've said it a few times now, and I'm like, all right, it's kind of cool that they called it that.
I still can't get Mr. Iguana the name of his sidekick.
Neither could whatchamacallit on Monday night.
Michael Cole. Yeah.
Corey had to tag in and be like,
he was calling a Mr. Iguana Man. Then he thought he could change colors and realized that was a chameleon.
Well, the fact that Corey Graves is like, this is how I interpret it. I know we're getting ahead, but the fact that like Corey Graves had to step in, it's almost like, all right, this is my lane, bro. I take over now. This is my people's.
He even brought up the proper scientific term too for the study of lizards. I forget what it is.
Yes.
Like I'm like, good on you, Corey. He just like pulled that one out of thin air. And I'm like
it's amazing what you can pull out of your ass. Like, it was good though.
Yeah.
It was so good.
I know we're getting ahead, but I don't know how we got back on Mr. Iguana, but still.
Because, man, it was a AAA weekend. It was so much fun.
It was.
Like, he's like the poster child for fun. Like, I don't expect him to be anything amazing or anything, but like, he just does great work. All right, so we get MFTs versus Jimmy, Sammy, and Jacob. All right, so my notes is pretty much that Fatu is amazing, and like his ability to transition from move to move to move to move, especially for a bigger guy, is impressive. And then on top of that, I think he's finally mastered the last second kick out. We were talking about this before we started recording, and you're like, I thought maybe he went too long. I was like, I picked up on it right away. I was like, he did so good on that one, man. Like, so good. You couldn't have cut it any closer. Props to him, man. It's just amazing. You know, we get the typical stuff that we're expecting, you know, the hesitant pairing between Jacob and Sammy, because honestly, nobody likes Sammy. And then...
or at least you don't want him to.
Well, he's the glommer. He's that dude that just keeps on hanging around, and you're like, dude, why are you here? And eventually, he's just always around. He's... What was it, from Half Baked? The dude on the couch? That's Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn is the dude on the couch, right? Like, he comes into your apartment, you don't know where the hell he came from, and he's just, like, crashed out on your couch. And you're like, who's that guy? Did you bring him? No, I didn't bring him. Did you bring him? Nah. No, Sami Zayn's the dude on the couch. And that is who Sami Zayn is.
I was waiting for you to get a movie reference in this week.
Yeah. Yep. That's what happens when you're a latchkey kid.
Yeah, and I thought, but then at the end of it, after all the brawling, like they closed the show with Sammy and Fatu and Jimmy having this big hug it out moment. I think they could have went another week or two with Fatu not trusting him because he's not family yet. But I get it; they're trying to set stuff up.
He's putting his stink in my coffee, man. He's messing up my Kool-Aid. I like Jacob. Like, let Jacob do Jacob things. Like, I don't need Sammy around him, glomming on.
Yeah.
Crashing on his couch. You know, so, like I said, SmackDown was fine.
We call them moochers. That's what we used to call people like that.
Moochers. No, because he's not really taking anything. He's just a glommer. Like, he's like some sticky ooze that gets stuck to you, and you can't get rid of it. Like, you scrub yourself, like, even with that Gojo, like, orange, like, stuff to get grease and stuff off, and no matter how much you scrub, you're still tacky and sticky. That's Sami Zayn.
Yeah. While the top 3 layers of your skin are gone from the pumice.
Exactly. Like, just like, you know, you're in the shower, and like, it burns, get it off. And it never goes away. I'm not going any further down there.
What's that? Why is your arm all scarred up? Gojo. All right.
Good. Somebody needs some Sami Zayn penicillin. All right, so let's get into Raw. So we get a Vision promo. Paul Heyman taking a victory lap and owning Philly. Like, listen, they started chanting OTC, and Paul immediately flipped that. Immediately.
Yeah.
And it was like, no, you're going to say this. And the crowd was like, okay. And they chanted it. I was just like, bro. That's some wizard, like spooky, scary, like mind control shit. Like, he was just like.
And while they're doing it, Paul's just standing there like, this is like, with the look on his face, like, see how easy this is? Like,
he did. He was just like, see, told you, got it, still got it. Philly is definitely a heel town.
Yep.
There's no better hype man than Paul. I'm reading all my notes because it was all Paul Heyman. There's no better hype man than Paul Heyman. The ECW callbacks by Paul Heyman for ECW, and like the like little jab at Tommy Dreamer, like
the late great Tommy Dreamer.
The late great Tommy Dreamer. He's not dead, but he should be. And Pro Breaker's like, wait, is he still alive? Great. And especially because he's on Busted Open and everything else. Like, Bro, it was just brilliant. It was so well done. And I haven't seen Tommy Dreamer's follow-up. I'm sure it's great, but
I'm pretty sure that all is related to the fact that back in the day, Tommy Dreamer was legitimately planning to murder Paul Heyman. So I think that was just Paul's way of throwing a shot in it. But it was great. I thought it was hilarious.
it was great. It was great. And then, that whole opening segment, it did what it needed to do, man. And then they set up the hardcore match with Jay, so props to Jay. Jay has expanded his fan interaction a little bit. So, before you come down and you get him to do the arm thing, now he's got the kid saying yeet. He'd be like, and he does that staccato pacing thing where he's like, blah, 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 yeet, blah, 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 yeet. And you were getting all the little kids like just saying yeet. And I was like, clever, well played, well freaking played. Because like, that's how you keep it going, man. And I'm telling you, he is, bro, it all started in Lyon and they're going back to France. Whew. That building, I guarantee you he's probably main eventing that building. Guaranteed. Somehow, some way, he's going to be in the main event. Not necessarily, I don't know. He's going to main event somewhere.
I thought the main event is going to be the 4-way with Seth. That's all.
Okay. So you're going to get his intro.
Yeah.
So
he is
there
in
you
the main
go.
event.
Because cut the lights, let the freaking phone lights go, and let's get it back.
I forgot for like half a second that Jay was in that match until I said it, and like right before you said it, I was like, wait.
4-way.
Yeah.
It was like 4-way, like LA Knights. Oh yeah, Jay. Because he was kind of a tack on it. It was like, it came out to make the save, and then next thing you know, Adam Pearce, here's to you, Adam Pearce. I wish this was a beer, because you definitely need one, and probably Nick Aldis does too. Those GMs have been
He actually
working.
said it on the show last night that he needed a drink.
Yeah, Nick Aldis was, yeah. Yeah. All right, so let's move on. All right, EO Raquel. Raquel's very good right now. EO is crazy over. And I kind of put this in my notes, and then it came to fruition a little bit later. I was like, Rhea makes a save. That's going to create the friction with the Kabuki Warriors. And sure, I was like, oh, it'll happen next week. They'll call it out. No, a little while later, Asuka's like, yeah, okay. But good on them.
And, sometimes we say that they rush stuff too much. I don't think that was rushed. I think you can get away with hitting the gas on this here. It gets Rhea and EO together. It gives the Kabuki Warriors something to do. So I'm fine with it. The match itself, though, the timing was off. And Raquel seemed really slow. And, we were texting. You think it's the jet lag. And then we also thought maybe they just didn't match up well together. Or maybe they just both had an off night. So
it could have been.
This kind of set a tone for a lot of the show. The majority of the matches were kind of lackluster.
And it was kind of sad because it was like a match that was kind of okay, not great. It was like not quite a C plus show. I don't know. It was weird. It was like a B minus C plus match. Like right on that cusp. You know how like one point you either got a B or you got a C? That's where that was.
Well, I think, too, we had high expectations for that show because earlier yesterday afternoon, you had sent me the picture showing, lean off with Roman was going to be on it. So I'm thinking, we'll probably get a Roman promo until after this segment happened. And I realized Roman's not cutting a promo. Roman's going to get involved in the no DQ match. And then, just the matches they listed.
8-12, Matt. 8-12. I went back and looked at my text. At 8-12 that night. 8:12 into the show, I literally called the exact main event of what was happening when I text you. It was at 8:12. 12 minutes into the effing show, I was like, this is what's going to happen, then this is going to happen, then this is going to happen. And it happened. But we'll get into it when we get into the main event. But
yeah, the expectation with all the matches they listed and who's going to be giving promos, who's going to I'm like, you even said hey, said shopping up the keyboards, for taking notes.
I thought it was going to be something to work with. Some of it is, we'll talk, but so after that, we get this backstage segment between CM Punk, who's trying to rally the troops and get everybody on the same page, because otherwise the Brawns are going to be mean to us. And let me tell you something, man. First off, LA Knight's promo game has definitely upped in the last few weeks. Like, he's cutting some great ones. Even when he flubs good. Like, he flubbed, but you're like, okay, cool. He recovered pretty quick, right? He gets tongue-tied, and I can appreciate that because it happens to me a lot.
It happens to me like 5 to 10 times on the podcast. Just happened here.
See Sean's retirement speech where he dropped the line, "Words are hard." That happened. So, but yeah, so like, and really what kind of came out of that was like, LA Knight is so strong in promos, and CM Punk as of late has just come across as a whiny bitch. Like, he's just so, I don't know how to explain it, but his promos the last 2 weeks have come off as like, everything's scary and hard. Like, bro, you need to step it up. So, it is what it is.
Meanwhile, and I just tell him that this is business, it's not personal, and he's just, every time CM Punk tries to say something, like even CM Punk trying to take over and having the interviewer leave, and LA Knight's like, no, you're going to stay right here. You're going to listen to this. You were here. Like, you're not leaving. So, like, I'm telling you, LA Knight's got a little bit of Stone Cold, a little bit of The Rock in him. Like, he's
kind of a mix. He's a mix, and that's fine. Like, he does what he does. And he's kind of like Stone Cold, too, in that he's kind of that brass tacks wrestler. You know what I mean? Like, there's not a lot of flash to his game. Even the BFT is kind of meh, in terms of a finisher. So it's like, all right, cool. So, but I want to get into one of my fun matches.
Yes.
One of the better matches of the night, which was Xavier Woods and Penta. And bro, Woods biting Penta's finger, I was like, that's so brilliant. Woods was on a whole another level with his, like, heel in-ring persona work that last night, like, biting the finger. And then, like, they were just outside the ring. He just hit a move on Penta, and he's like, doing the Family Guy, like, where's my money, man? Where's my money? And, like, he was like, Cero, dinero. And I was like, oh my God, he's on another level tonight. And then, it was honestly the most entertaining I've seen New Day in a while. Like, they've been entertaining, but like on that level, I was having a blast. I was actually laughing out loud. And what's even better, so the ref sucked in that match, by the way. And then Woods eating the Mexican Destroyer. And what was even better about it, he was on social media like, he hurt my neck. That move's basically a pile driver. It's supposed to be banned. I was like, holy crap. So this comes where we were talking about, like, that blurring of the lines between kayfabe and reality, and when you take it outside the arena, you got to kind of let it go, right? Like, so if you're going to take it outside the arena, let's keep it going then. Let's keep it strong.
How about the way he sold the Mexican Destroyer? Like, he almost
that
he
was
stepped
actually
back
my
up.
note.
Yeah, and he almost slow motion, like, fell back, but like the expression.
But he was like in this daze.
Yeah.
Of, like, after he came out of it, just like, it was brilliant.
Yeah.
And it was so well sold. And like, they got great chemistry in the ring. I guess Penta's wrestling Coffee next week. And, and the typical ramp up. Maybe now we get our Penta Ray Phoenix. Come on. But yeah, he sold the shit out of that thing. And it was so good. And he did great work. Like, I got to give him his props, man. And then another glommer, Grayson Waller, just floating around everywhere, too. Like, he's like Sami Zayn Jr.
Yeah, but the thing is, New Day really doesn't acknowledge him. Like,
No.
he walks behind him. They don't talk to him when they're ringside, hardly acknowledge him.
Hey, Matt, let me ask you a question. How did Sami Zayn end up in the bloodline?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. They didn't acknowledge him either, and then next thing you know, he's got a shirt. Mm-hmm. That happened.
Yeah.
That happened.
I think it's funny that Corey Graves refers to him as Big G.
It's so funny.
Corey Graves has been like...
But the question got asked last night, it was like, is that what he's going by now? I was like, no, he just made that crap up on the fly. I was just like, oh. So after that, we get Balor and JD McDonough against Dragon Lee and Mr. Oh, so much fun. So much fun. And to this point, it was probably the best match of the night. It had a great pace. Great effing pace. JD McDonough, and I'm pretty sure I've said this like 1,000 times on this pod, is such a great seller. Such a great seller. And I kind of appreciate that, like, Judgment Day is kind of getting used in the AAA world, and I'm sure that's a tie-in with Dom, and, and to a lesser extent, Raquel probably, but I do like that they're in that world, so to speak. It's like, okay, cool. We have something very functional that you guys can kind of run with the ball with the Judgment Day, and we don't have to see rehashes of everything, and it's new. And the fact that, Finn Balor and Mr. Iguana got kind of a thing going on, I was like, perfect.
Yep.
Just perfect.
It was a lot of fun.
Man, Dragon Lee was on a whole nother level, too. That kid's really good, too. And that's what I love about this AAA stuff, right? Like, guys like Dragon Lee are getting showcased. Joaquin Wilde is getting showcased. I can't think of the other LWO guy. Like, those guys where you thought for the longest time they were cannon fodder, and then all of a sudden you're like, shit, they're actually better than most of the other guys out there. Like, those LWO kids, they were money on Saturday.
That's why I think that them purchasing AAA was just a win-win for both organizations. Because with as deep as the WWE roster is, they can help out AAA, and now AAA guys are getting national exposure. We've seen it now with Mr. Iguana. He's been on SmackDown now and Raw. So the commentary was hilarious, especially when Corey Graves, Saturday night and Monday night and last night was just fantastic. The stuff he pulls like out of thin air, out of his ass, out of wherever, referring to JD McDonough being a great Mexican luchador, and he went by the title of El Grande Cabeza, which means the giant head. And he just, it wasn't what he said, his delivery. He just like deadpanned it. Like he didn't and I don't even think Cole, I don't know if Cole caught it, because I don't remember Cole cracking up. Meanwhile, this guy is like rolling in my recliner just like in hysterics. Cause
it's so good. It's so appropriate.
So, yeah, fun match. Probably the best night of the night so far.
This is one thing I want for JD McDonough, and it's kind of a Star Trek-y reference though, but like, I want him to come to her ring and like somebody would go like Corey Graves or somebody and be like, his ring intro is great, but you haven't really appreciated it until you heard it in Klingon. Like, it just would be so perfect. I don't know why it popped in my head. It was just like,
knowing Corey, he probably knows Klingon. Who knows? He's probably dorked up enough.
It's a whole language. Actually, I'm not gonna lie. I actually looked it up to see if there was like a Rosetta Stone for Klingon, because I think learning Klingon would be like one of the greatest languages you could learn, because nobody knows what the F you're saying anyways. Kind of like us talking on this podcast. So,
yep.
Like, because all our isms comes out, like my New York and Army comes out, your Boston and masshole stuff comes out, like, all of it comes out, and then your Army-isms mixed with your Boston accent, like, comes out, and it's just like, I'm sure people listen to this, and they're just like, I don't know what the hell they're talking about.
Unless they're, Pennsylvania and North, then they're probably like, oh yeah, we totally get it. That's probably the only people that watch us here.
So, once we learn Klingon, we'll do a Klingon announce desk for WrestleMania. We'll just do a live stream where all we do is announce the entire freaking thing in Klingon. Anyways,
I could just see some guy from Boston going like, yeah, I know exactly what these two douchebags are talking about.
I know, right? We'll put it in. We'll have to type in English subtitles. Shit.
Yeah.
This is too much fun.
And then we get to see El Hijo de Vicino again, on last night. And the Dominic, I'm telling you, the fans are turning Dominic face no matter what he does. the fans are.
So the word on the street is he's not going to intentionally turn face, but he's going to let it happen naturally. And well, first off, everybody's shitting at, we were kind of talking about it. Everybody's crapping on Vikingo anyways. But what I liked about it was he got a receipt, right? Like they had issues in the match. He came to Dom's house and got a receipt on Dom. So obviously we know they're meeting at Worlds Collide. Great. Have at it. Keep that story going too. I'm all for it.
We'll just see how much AJ Styles does to outsmart Dom or either or between now and then. If Dom drops the IC title before Worlds Collide, then he's definitely winning the AAA Mega Championship. If he
I don't think they're going to do that. I think they want to see Dom with 2 belts. They want 2-belt Dommy out there. Like, they want that. I honestly believe that because
that wouldn't be bad either.
How effing insufferable. Like, we saw what Chelsea Green was with a belt. Like, that was the main reason I wanted her to win the U.S. title because I knew she would be insufferable. And I was like, Dom with 2 belts? See, I am the greatest luchador ever. Blah, 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 blah. I'm the greatest Mysterio. Blah, 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 blah. Which...
then he could talk more smack to his dad, who's been pretty prominent the last couple weeks talking smack on camera to Dom, so...
Well, he's been prominent, but he kind of took the high ground, which I appreciate, right? Like, it's just like, I'm so over this crap. You're being petty, and I just don't care. And he's, it's like basically walking by, and the kid's running in his mouth, and he's just like, jackass.
Yep. Yeah, he's a
moving
grown,
on.
Yeah, he's a grown-ass man. He'd do whatever he wants. It's like, I'm done with it.
Yep. All right, so after that, we get a lot of Becky Lynch. So Becky Lynch talks about how Natalya, verbally assaulted her and accosted her in the back, blah, 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 or in the ring the previous week, and yada, yada, yada. Anyways, fast forward.
Went on a little too long, in my book.
So she comes out and cuts a promo. Then we get a cutaway to a video of Bayley. And let's talk about this video. So we're hearing all 3 versions of Bayley right now. And I proposed to you a very interesting scenario. And you were like, you need to put that in your notes. So you want me to run with the ball, or you got anything to contribute?
No, I'm going to let you run with the ball because I can't look back at the text I sent you, but I'm going to let you kick it off.
All right. So, Bayley going nuts. I think there's a prime, long-term story here. And a lot of people are going to hate it, but I'm going to run with this because I have the damn pencil, because that's what the podcast says. So, here's the deal. My whole thought process, first off, I sent you a joking text, and I was like, Bayley's channeling her inner Randy. She's hearing voices in her head. And, that was just a joke. And then I started thinking about it. I'm like, if the Wyatts weren't on SmackDown, putting Bayley with the Wyatts would be brilliant. And here is why. First off, the Wyatts in their current construct are the land of misfit toys. You could spin it so good. So Bayley's losing her mind. She's rudderless. She's lost. The Wyatts bring that lost soul into their collective, right? And everybody's like, why would you do that? Aha. Here's where the long-term booking comes in. It does 2 things for you by doing this. 1, it allows Alexa and Charlotte to always just kind of run with the ball, and it keeps Alexa away from the Wyatts. Because we know there's a connection there. It has to be a connection there. It's there. She's sister app. Let Bayley get into the group. Let Bayley be vocal in the group. Let her get that, because part of her promo was like, I don't need anybody else, or I do, and blah, 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 blah. Get her into a collective. Let Bayley join the Wyatts and let her get a little twisted. And then the Wyatts protect her, help her get over the hump. She wins a mid-card title, maybe the U.S. title, maybe the IC title, whatever. Bayley gets over the hump with the help of the Wyatts. The longer-term storyline, we all know that Alexa is eventually going to turn on Charlotte. Once Charlotte, has the golden railroad spike in the ground that she's a face, right? That's kind of where that's going. So once the breakup happens and all that dust settles, then you have Alexa go back towards the Wyatts and look at Bayley and be like, Those are my people. Those are my folks. Blah, 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 blah. You know? And you could get a whole 'nother program of Alexa and Bailey out of that program. And I think that elevates the Wyatts, it elevates Bailey, it'll keep Alexa hot. I think there's so much good in that of doing it, going that route, and that is something you could stretch for at least 6 months easily because you'll have the slow ramp up of Bailey, like just being, cutting these like I'm Looney Tunes, losing my mind promos. And every now and again, I would take her halfway through her promo, just do that little glitch that they do for Wyatt promos, just like, like everybody were like, oh, she's joining the Wyatts. Like, no, and then eventually you had the Wyatts reach out. I think there's so much fun that you could have with that. I think it would be a great angle to go with. Thoughts?
Thoughts? Well, we talking draft. Maybe the stars can line up after the draft. I mean, it's a great plan. I'm kind of interested to see what WWE does with it right now. I thought her and they were going to set up a feud with her and Becky. If it looks like Bailey's going to snap and possibly turn heel, that almost negates it.
Hell, you can make an easy transition. You want to talk about bat crap crazy? She loses her mind, joins the Wyatts. This is how you get the split with Alexa and Charlotte, by the way. Her and Nikki Cross band together and go for the tag titles against Charlotte and Alexa.
That would work. That would definitely
You
work.
would have two psycho chicks like going after that crap, and yeah. And then because, I'd run it back like twice, maybe. And Alexa, to try to get over the hump, she's got to channel that inner loony, her own little darkness, and so much good writing there. So much potential, and it could be so much fun, too.
By then, Charlotte can move on and either feud with them or she's back in the world title picture by then.
Yeah, well, because, like, the break with Alexa is not going to be clean. And so they got to lose the tag titles, then they got to go forward, whatever. But like I said, if you inject Bailey, like, think of how Looney Tunes that would be. Like, if you got Crazy Bailey, and we already know Nikki Cross's character is, like, nutso. She never was right in the head, but still, like, in her current iteration, she's definitely nutso. Like, whew. And then, yeah, that could be some good stuff, man. Hey, WWE, if you do that, I know you're watching me, because nobody's talking about that. But just saying.
So yeah, could they I'm just wondering what they're going to do with Bailey while she's on Raw. That's the only thing. Like, because her and Becky, it looked like they were leaning towards a feud if they turned Bailey heel. I don't know. I'm going to see how they.
Well, what I don't want is like, I don't want like postal Bailey, right? I want substance, right? We've seen that before. Like, oh my God, I'm losing my mind. I can't win the title. I must destroy you because I have to get the voices out of my head, kind of crap. And it's going to suck. But if you go the route I said,
yeah,
there's so much context and substance. And it also shows that the Wyatts have influence. And the Wyatts are always, watching and pulling and gnawing. And then, like I said, you already got Gacy and Dexter Lumis with the tag titles. Why not pick off the women's tag titles?
I mean, if they just move Sammy to SmackDown and LA Knight to Raw, there's no reason why they couldn't just throw Bailey on SmackDown and.
Well, I think this is the prime opportunity if you're going to do my idea to do it. You're going to be on this European tour, and it's brands be damned, right? Like, it really is brands be damned in this case, because at the end of the day, while they're jaunting through Europe, they're all going to be on the same effing bus regardless, right? They're still going to show up at the same arenas, regardless if they're Raw or SmackDown. Nobody's going home on the weekend. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, like, I think that there's a lot of value in that, because that's a prime opportunity to do this. You don't have to end it, but you can start it.
Yep.
And I just, I would, how Nikki Cross every now and again would drop her creepy gifts to Michael Cole? Maybe you start dropping little nuggets of her giving stuff to Bailey. And or Bailey just getting random packages. You don't even see who drops it off, but it's little creepy shit. And then all of a sudden, my child, let's talk from Uncle Howdy. God, you could go so many ways with it. It'd be so much fun, And
I think
that's what.
this is even a lot more than you were talking about last night in text because it was pretty short. So you definitely thought over it today.
Yeah, I definitely have some more. Well, because like as we're talking about it, I can just see the different promos and scenarios playing out in my head, and then how do you leverage, because on this podcast we don't just factor in kayfabe, we got to factor in real life, right? They're all contained. They're all on this European John. You can have bleed over with the Wyatts coming over and trickling into Raw, and you can have Bailey trickling into SmackDown for one reason or another. You can definitely do that. The Wyatts are big right now. Like
Yep.
people don't want to admit it. The Wyatts are big. Like they're getting some love. And the closer we get to October, the more love that they're gonna get. Period. So
Agreed.
all right, let's move on. Natalya versus Becky Lynch. I didn't get Natty. I wanted Natty. She put on that Becky Lynch doesn't get to dictate to her who she is. Fair. I think Natty would be a PLE kind of character. Fine. But I was disappointed.
Hopefully it looks like the way this match went that they're setting up, they're going to go at it
They're
again.
going to feud.
So I think that at some point, Natty comes out. And I tell you, I think it'd be a nice gesture for them to give her, even if it's a short run, give her a short run with the IC title. They're starting to bring, it's been 8 years since she won a title. And usually when they start talking about how long it's been since somebody won a title, that means somebody's probably going to be
soon to a theater near you.
Yep. So, but I think it's got to be Natty, like the badass GCW Natty that we see on the indie circuit. I was hoping for that. That was one of her better showings is Natalya.
Yeah. Well, and she sold her injury great.
Oh yeah, I thought she really got banged up at first until I saw Becky.
She did a couple of moves, and I was like,
and then once Becky started working on it, I was like, okay, but
yeah, I said the same thing. Like once she went, what was she did? Oh, she did the arm snap on the bottom rope from the apron, and when she did that, I was like, it ain't hurt. She did that, but you know what the worst part about this match was? I totally forgot Becky and Nikki Bella were supposed to have a program. Like she came out, and I was like, why is she come? That's how she came out, and I was like, oh, yeah, she's around again. Totally forgot about her.
So that'll probably be the program after or while whatever, same time as Natalya. So I don't know. They better find a good story for Becky because they were onto something good with Lyra and Bailey, and now it's kind of like I feel like it showed in her promo. She was all over the place. I thought actually Becky Lynch was like rambling. Like it was like, okay, wrap it up. It was just going so long. So they need to do something for Becky because Becky can get lost in the shuffle, which she should.
I know. You know what Becky needs? The wrap it up button. If anybody has ever watched Chappelle's Show, you will know what the wrap it up button is. and for those of you that don't, so what was happening back in the day, people would go on award shows like the Oscars and everything else. And some of the people would just drone on and on and on, 15, 20, 30 minutes long. So what they started doing was there was a light and there was music, like you would get playoff music to play them off the stage. So in Chappelle's Show, they called it the wrap it up button. And it was basically people in, it was a little box and, they were in bed and they were having sex and the chick was like, all right. And she hits the wrap it up button. Hurry it up. Let's go. So that's sometimes when Becky gets droning on and on and on, but no. And like I said, I just forgot. So then we go backstage. We get Sheamus and Rusev again. And, Pierce, who's now disheveled and, just worn out from his GM duties, who needs a drink, according to him, announces that there will be a Donnybrook match. In my notes, I said, okay, would have preferred a cage match. I think those two in a cage.
I would have went false count anywhere. That's why I would have went.
Nah, I would have won cage, and here's why.
Or last man standing.
I would have won cage, mostly because I think those two would actually use the cage. You know? Or whatever that crazy cage was back in the day that they brought over. Shoot. I can't think of what it was.
You're not
just Darius. It was the weird tiered one.
Not the Punjabi. No, God, don't ever.
I think it's something they brought over from WCW. But
are you talking about where it had an inner cage and had a cage outside the ring too, or something like that?
Nah.
I don't know.
It was like a 2-level cage. Like, there was a platform on the second level. It was good. Anyways.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yep.
The bottom was like a USV, it wasn't really even a ring. It was just like a cage.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it was kind of cool. They used it once.
Yeah.
Anyways, I did make a note that I would love a segment where, like, Nick Aldis and, Adam Pearce are just sitting hammered off their ass, like, just can't take it no more, like a blow-off, like, drinking session. But, all right. So then we get the happy, sad moment of the night. Naomi comes out, and she's pregnant, but she maintains heel form, and she surrenders her belt her way. Basically calls all the female wrestlers in the back heifers, which made me laugh, and yeah. I thought it was great. The Baby Uso chants made me piss myself. It was funny. Her line about
Netflix and chill.
When she kicked out Adam Pearce, she's like, I hope you trip in those church shoes.
Yeah, that was great.
A great line.
Yeah.
Her cackle after the bloodline continues was another good one. And I also had a note that basically said when she comes back, she is going to be over to the moon. Like, when you say stuff like, hey, after 9 months, I'll be out here breastfeeding and whooping your ass. I was like, good on ya. Go. And Pierce's follow-up, you brought it up to me, and I had seen it too, where he's like, somebody who has caused this problem before, I totally understand.
Yeah, he was like
good on him.
Yeah, I know when to peace out or whatever.
Yeah.
Because as soon as she, flipped on him, he was just like, all right, I'm out of here. I'm not dealing with this. I thought it was done really well. Like, the way that she got to be a little bit of the character, but then we got to see Trinity in the ring as well. So, I thought it was really done super good.
It was. One of the better ones of those that I have seen.
It's weird because I'm sitting there watching last
Becky
night,
Lynch,
and I'm like,
Becky
I'm
Lynch
happy.
Called her out.
Yeah,
Becky Lynch called her out. I almost died.
But she did the same thing when she when she told Asuka. But now, see, that was funny. One line, got the point across. Hilarious. You don't have to speak for 7.5 minutes, Beck. Like, I'm watching Naomi, like, I'm happy for her because she's having a baby, and then I'm like, at the same time, I feel bad because she had just had this huge run, getting the world title, making a huge transition from a face to a heel, and then just killing it. And all of a sudden, that gets, like, kind of pulled away from her. So.
I know. I had the same feelings because we've talked about it. Like, her heel run is phenomenal.
But, yeah.
And the fact that she went out the way she did just kind of reaffirmed that. And, like, she was on another planet. And I hope she comes back strong, man.
I hope keep the same character, Like, don't let her go back to Naomi with the laser lights and the blinky shoes. Like, she needs to come back out with the caution tape and all that stuff.
Yeah, no, she's got to stay in that character.
Yep.
She's got to come back as that character and then just talk shit to everybody. Like, oh yeah, you say you miss me for 10 months. Ain't none of y'all talking about me, but you're cheering on those heifers over there that got my title that I never lost. Like, Yep.
There's a lot of ways you can go with this.
All right, let's get into the grand finale. So we got Jay and Braun Breaker in a street fight, or whatever the hell they called it. I love how Breaker just talks shit nonstop when he's in the ring. Like, it makes me so effing happy. Like, he never stops. He never shuts up. Like, you're always getting gold out of that dude. Like, sometimes it's a little cheesy dad joke vibes, But like, man, he's always on. And then, all right, I got, and I was concerned for about 5 to 10 minutes that he actually got hurt when he flipped outside the ring onto the cart because it looked like he landed funny on the cart. Like, I don't know if that was planned, but like, holy crap. I was like, holy shit. Are they cursed? You know? But later on, he was just going. So I was like, guess it was a work. I did ask myself, though, like, I feel like they cut to commercial and they came back and there's like 6 million chairs in the ring. I'm like, what did I miss?
Yeah, and the shopping cart was gone. Like, you didn't see it. So
Well, he kicked the shopping cart over on the entryway. So after he landed on it, he kicked it over and knocked all the stuff out.
okay, because I didn't see. All right.
Yeah, when Braun Breaker initially fell on that and he was trying to recover.
I think I was
he
too
did
busy
dinged.
texting you like, holy shit, did you see that?
Yeah. Well, when he got dinged, I do think he tweaked something quick because like Jay came over to start working him and he kind of checked in on him and then Jay kind of like, all right, I'm going to go set up a table right now. Like you could see what had happened. So, but
I think it's kind of like you ever like really whack your shin or hit your knee, like you whack your knee, and it's just for like 5 minutes you're in agony and you think it's like the end of the world. And
you gotta flex it off.
Yep, I think that's exactly what happened.
Heyman dropping the line, that one had to hurt, made me laugh my ass off. That was a good one. When he was still trying, Breaker was overselling it, and then like Heyman going, "Don't worry about it, we'll deal with it later," was great. Like, yeah, don't worry about it, man. Just walk it off. Put some dirt on it. Here's some 800 milligram ibuprofen. Like, go. And there are a few moves in wrestling that make me cringe, and I start watching like this. One of those moves is when chairs are involved and they put the chairs with the chair backs back to back. That is, and they've had a couple of them in the last couple of months, and they make me wince. So it's along the lines of like when people ask you, like, how can you watch wrestling? It's fake and it's scripted, and you're just like, here, watch Nick Foley fall off the top of the cage. Did he fake that? I don't think so. That happened. You're right? Those chair spots are another one of those, like, oh my God, somebody's going to get their spine broken or whatever, or break a rib or whatever. Credit to both of them. Jay landed on that chair perfectly because you were like, oh, I think he got it. I was like, nope. When Jay came down, he had his hands on the flat part of the chair when he was coming down to keep his weight from transferring over. But man, it looked brutal. But it's just one of those things where I'm like, you're on the cusp of something bad. And as somebody that kind of grew up and we saw Owen Hart pass and the aforementioned Mick Foley getting thrown out, like, you know, that Hell in the Cell match will impress and scar you at the same time. Like, that's just something there. And those chair shots are like that. Call me a bitch if you want. I
like how they modified it, you know, with having Jay going down stomach first. Because, you can protect yourself more. When you get flat backed with the chairs together like that, I don't know how you can't. Even if you can't put your feet down, there's no way to brace yourself. I'm sure there's a way, but it just looks a lot more dangerous. The way Jay took it last night, yeah, you could definitely see that there's a way to protect himself. But yeah, when he first hit it, I thought it did kind of knock the wind out of him.
Yeah, I think that's where speed actually kind of hid the illusion, so to speak. You know what I mean? The sleight of hand. But I whined about commercials in my notes because they were getting a little excessive during the main event. Hey, Netflix. Hey, USA. I have a recommendation for you. Get all your commercials in and run your main event commercial free. It'll make you a fucking fortune.
Actually, SmackDown, I even wrote in my notes I couldn't get over how many commercials were on SmackDown. It was like,
I don't mind commercials throughout the show. Just give me the main event unintruded, right? Like, get me through the main event. You have got all the time in the world prior to get me through the main event. I don't need commercials in the middle of a main event. So, ref counting on the chair was a different spot. I thought that was kind of fun. freaking Braun Breaker arguing over it. Like, bro, how could you not hear that? Like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, how could he was hitting a chair? Like, you could hear that. It's okay. And then let's see here. I don't think this was a planned spot when Bronson Reed pulled the ref out of the ring and pulled his shoe off. I'm 100% sure that that was not planned, and if it was, great on him. And then him being like, it was basically like, "What's these cheap pieces of shit?" and hits the ref with it. I was like, dude, that's hilarious. If that was improv, credit to him, man. Like,
Not worthy of the Shufala, for sure.
no, man, you got these like Walmart like Bobo specials. Like, oh, get the hell out of here with that. Like, you know,
No, that was Bronson Reed's just like killing it right now. Like he's everything.
that's why when people bitch about the Vision right now, like I see a lot of this. Like, I'm so over factions. Like, bro, you have to appreciate what's going on here. Like, and that's the problem. Like, a lot of people have revisionist history. They feel like the bloodline just showed up and was like, we are the bloodline now. We are awesome. And it's like, no. And there's been factions all throughout WWE history. I mean, if you think you're tired of a faction, but you hold DX in high regard, DX went through 2 iterations and still only lasted like a year and a half in reality, right? As great as they were, you got about, a year and a half of DX. And that was it through 2 iterations,
That's crazy.
So it's like, I mean, my month calendar might be off, but I know it was short. DX was a lot shorter than people realize.
Yeah.
But it was impactful, which is fine. But the thing is that if you're crapping on the Vision, what else do you have Bronson Reed doing? Right? Bronson Reed is 10 times a bigger star in the moment right now because he is with the Vision. It's not about Seth. Seth's just the front man, right? It was there was a comedian. His name's Patton Oswalt, right? He was talking about how he went and saw Guns N' Roses late into the Guns N' Roses, and Axl Rose is out there, and this is kind of my equation for Seth, right? Like, obviously, all the backup that the guitar players and the drummers, they can all do their thing still, and like Axl Rose runs out on stage, he's like. Like, he's gassed, right? Like, it's not to say Seth is gassed, but the point is that it's not so much about Seth right now, it's about the others, right? We all know Braun Breaker is eventually going to break off. We all
Paul
know
Heyman said it Monday night. The future main of WrestleMania main eventer.
But
like,
Seth goes into that knowing that,
right?
Like,
yeah, and it's not
Seth.
Yeah, and he's not crapping on Seth. Like Seth acknowledges like Braun Breaker is the future, and Bronson Reed is the tribal thief, Shufala. Yeah,
that's why I said like Paul is such a great hype man. Like when he was doing intros, and my God, I was dying, man. And all right, so this thing ends with your typical overbooked, never-ending parade of run-ins, which is what I knew was going to happen.
and you knew Punk and LA Knight were going to go at it, and somebody was going to get the short end, and LA Knight went through a table.
And then Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns gets a couple of moves in, and he props up Jay, which is fine. Here's my problem. You advertise Roman Reigns as being there. Roman Reigns hasn't talked in God knows how long. And when he did talk, he gave you a half-ass BS fucking promo. Either you're in or you're out. Give me substance. And I'm not getting it from Roman. I'm not getting anything. I'm just getting cheap pops. Right? I could get the same effect from Roman Reigns by trotting out, however old he is, Stone Cold Steve Austin right now. He comes out, he gives everybody a stunner, crowd pops, done. That's all Roman's doing, Get the same thing from The Rock, The Undertaker. Insert uber star here. Same. You know what I mean?
I mean, he got relegated to SummerSlam Night 1 opening match, wasn't it?
But there's no build. I don't get it. Like, that's my frustration with it. There's nothing there.
I think they can get by just on the name. Like, oh, we bring Roman Reigns back, people are going to watch it, people are going to come. And at some point, that bank's going to run dry.
It's just
people won't pay to see Roman.
But it's just cheap. It's cheap. And, like, I know he has a ravenous fan base out there, and I get it. But, like, there's no substance. I'm not getting anything to give a crap about him. Like, yay, Roman came out and saved everybody. And, you know what I mean? Like, why didn't he take the shoes away from freaking Bronson Reed? Why didn't he steal Bronson Reed's shoes? Like, why isn't there a beef there? Why aren't we getting something that leads into that?
Evidently, we're going to see Bronson Reed and Roman Reigns at Clash in Paris, because there was some words there was I see you in Paris, I'm taking back my whatever. But why didn't it happen then? Why couldn't Roman just jump him? At least try to get the shoe foul, and maybe like he doesn't get it last night, but at least like he
just get a receipt.
Yeah,
you don't need your shoes back. Take his. That's a receipt. Because the problem isn't they're the MacGuffin, right? The shoes are the MacGuffin. It doesn't matter. What really matters is that you got treated like a bitch. You got jumped like you were walking down the bad alley in the hood, and they beat you up, and they took your lunch money and your effing shoes. That's what happened to Roman Reigns. Twice. And, like, the fact that he's just like, I'll see you in Paris.
It should have been a pull-apart brawl, security get involved, whatever. It just, yeah, it should.
He took 3 effing tsunamis.
Yeah.
The other week.
That's like he should have went after him and tried to beat him all the way back to the dressing room, and it didn't happen.
At least Punk and Seth went all the way back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it just doesn't. It doesn't mix for me, right? And I get the perception that Roman's trying to put Jay over, he's trying to put others over, fine. But what's the old saying? Like, you could be the greatest wrestler in the world, but if your opponent's, you know, if you're not building your opponent, you're really not getting anywhere, right? If your opponent's strong and you're strong, then the entire match is strong. The problem right now is that Bronson Reed looks strong, and I have no reason to give a shit about Roman Reigns. He's not even sticking up for himself. Like, honestly. Like, I'm not asking him to go into business for himself. If he wants to help Jay, fine. But if we're going to do this in, what, the 19th now? So, like, 12 more days? If we're going to do this in 12 more days, then can I get some substance as to why you give a crap? Can I hear why you give a crap? And not some, like, BS revisionist history, because that pissed me off, too. And I want to give him the benefit of the doubt, but right now, to your point, it does feel like they're just trotting him out like, it's Roman Reigns. Woo! OTC, OTC. And it's like, why do you care? I don't care. Nobody cares. They're just excited to see him, and it's just cheap. And it bothers me.
Yeah, there's no rhyme or reason behind what he's doing.
No, you said the other week, actions, it's him doing the actions speak louder than words thing. But the problem is that
at some point you do have to talk about your actions.
Yeah. You have to talk about it. And then on top of that, like, we're back to this Roman Reigns model of Roman will be gracing us with his presence, and you got 2 minutes of him. You don't even get the backstage promo with Roman Reigns anymore. Nope, you just get the cameo version. He came out, he recorded his freaking short and posted it on TikTok and deuced out. That's the equivalent of what Roman Reigns has been doing lately. Like, oh, look at me. I did cool stuff. Deuces. And it's like, you're either in the pool or you're not. Right? You're not he thinks he's helping people. The writers think he's helping people, but they're not. Because I don't care.
Well, we got to throw some blame on the writers, too. We can't 100% blame Roman Reigns.
No.
It's the writers and the producers and how they're...
No, because it's lazy effing booking. It's
Yep.
horrible. Like, make him come out. Make me care that he came out. Make him come out for revenge.
Like,
make him make a beeline right for Bronson Reed.
He hasn't even confronted Paul Heyman after Paul Heyman, like, a little bit in an interview, but, like...
He didn't even really, though, because it was just like, I brought you in my family. You betrayed me. And it's like, well, no, you kind of set him up for fucking failure. So, like, why don't you admit that you kind of screwed up and kicked all this catalyst off? But no, you can't admit that. You want to blame him for bringing CM Punk in, but then months later, you want to, like, hang out with CM Punk and LA Knight and Jey Uso and, like, be in the ring with them. It's crap. So, I'm off my Roman Reigns kick. I'm off.
Sorry about the glare off of the street light. That's where you see that weird light. There we go.
Now I gotta go listen to Journey's Greatest Hits. You said street light. Damn.
It's not a bad choice. But yeah, it was kind of a... I felt like it was a lackluster Raw. It was probably one of the worst Raws that they've had since they've been on Netflix. It just... I don't know.
I was watching your camera go.
Yeah.
I was like, what the hell's going on there? His camera's tapping out. His camera can't even stay up for Raw. So, it was... Look, we start the foreign tour Friday, and it's going to be totally different. We know this, you know this. It's that crowd is just going to energize, and they are going to come out hotter than hot. You know, they're just going to kick it in overdrive, and they're going to soak up every little ounce of that energy, because that's going to recharge the battery for when they come back and take them into Survivor Series. That's really what's going on here, right? Like, they're going to... You know, it happened last year. Like, you know, they had Leon, and then all the Jey Uso crap happened, and then all of a sudden it was like, we might have something with Jey. We got some lightning in the bottle. Like, who is it going to be now? And we already know Jey's mega over. Punk is Punk. You know, Io Sky is hugely over. So, like, all those wrestlers, Rhea's over. Cody to an extent, though. I think he's filming, so we haven't really seen much of him, but whatevs. You know, but I think all that is going to get turned on its head. So I'm hoping for a much more exciting pod next week.
Yes, me too. And I do have to make a correction. I had Survivor Series in October. I meant November.
November.
Oh, yeah, we
couple
still
of
got 3
PLEs between now and then.
Yeah, big one. Yeah, and we got the show we got a show in Paris. We're going to go down to Australia. You know, for the show down in Perth.
Yeah, Perth. I forgot about Perth.
Yeah, so.
That's Grayson Waller and Rhea Ripley. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
But
now, I think that closes out all the wrestling for the week.
It does. But we still talk storylines. We beat up on some writers.
We did.
I took some credit that when they steal my stuff, I'm, you know, going to get my credit because I called it out.
And you also had a great theory for the Bayley situation, which...
That's what I'm talking about. I think that Bayley storyline, if you went my route, would be phenomenal. So I'm really excited to see if that, you know, if they can go vanilla with it, but I want them to go, like, whatever, insert Ben & Jerry's.
Like some kid going crazy at an ice cream, like, sundae buffet, where you build your own sundae.
Yeah, I want the gummy bears, the sprinkles, the crushed up Oreos, the hot fudge, the caramel. I want it all, man. Let's go big. Yep. All right, Matt, tell them where to find us so we can get out of here and get a Sunday.
Yeah, Sunday. On Tuesday night. So you can find us on YouTube, TikTok, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Please like and subscribe. We appreciate your comments. Please share, too, if you like, with your friends. So try to help us keep this thing going. We enjoy what we do, but we can't do without your support. So please like and subscribe and comment as much as you want.
Yep, by all means, comment. Keep the comments coming, folks. Keep on liking, subscribing. Watch us until your heart's content. Look, new digs, no more background. You get to see my hair in all its glory. Make sure you subscribe so you get to see this good-looking, handsome, bearded devil like anytime you want. But look, thank you for all the support out there. Keep the comments coming. Keep on talking to us. Give us some ideas. And you know what? I hear Mr. Softy outside, so I think it's time to go get some ice cream. Everybody have a great one. We'll talk to you next week.
Later.
Later.